Okay. Up next, we have DappLion, who's going to tell us about running Lodestar at scale.
Hello, everyone. Is my audio good?
Yeah.
Hey, so I'm DappLion, the team lead at Lodestar, and I want to share our experiences with developing the client and running it at scale. So first, a bit of background, like what is Lodestar? Lodestar is the 5th consensus client in order of addition to the production ready list. It's written in TypeScript. Currently, it has between 1 and 2% of mainnet share. And we have managed to have an excellent team of 7 full-time protocol devs and 1 PM. We have now performance on par with all other CLs, as we will display later, and with resource characteristics that are on par to other clients or better in different situations. Here, in both situations, I'm quoting different Mega Labs studies that they have done to benchmark the clients. So the main operator running Lodestar is the chain-safe one, where we basically dog food at scale. We run Lodestar exclusively with 1 EL to 1 CL to N VCs set up. We use multiple rescue nodes to have zero downtime rollouts and multiple providers. And as you can see, we have an effectiveness rating on par with the network at the moment, which slightly fluctuates depending on network conditions, but it's pretty good. So I think this is the summary. Like, Lodestar has been production ready for, I would say, well over a year now. I think we are now at the point where we have proven performance, at the point that we feel very confident recommending Lodestar to the wider community. So I would like to address some of the FAQ that we get. So why is adoption so low compared to other clients? Well, as you know, stakers are very sticky. The network effects are severe. And Lodestar suffers from just joining the party later than others. And this is pretty hard to overcome. We are doing our best, but it's a reality. It's good that it's not as severe in the consensus layer. We have seen how stakers have a more fluid behavior in this layer than in execution, where getting people to move away from Geth has been proven very, very difficult. In our case, we have to address the JavaScript meme, which it's there, but I want to counterpoint that. So Lodestar is a client written in TypeScript, which is a superset of JavaScript, initially with the focus to develop like clients, which we are still actively doing. And this is a big part of how we contribute to the open source public good of Ethereum. However, the advantage of JavaScript is that it's a very fast language to develop. So an example of how that manifests is we are always ahead in devnets. So for Dankun, as you know, it's on heavy testing. We have multiple devnets rolling out. Lodestar is usually the first to be feature ready, which is another advantage that can be an incentive for both large operators and users, where if you ask us for a feature, usually the rollout of this feature is really fast, thanks to this. Also, I will touch on this later, but as you know, the beacon chain is designed with anti-correlation penalties. So having unique trade-offs and different approaches is very important. And that's something that Lodestar does. One, for our specific structure of the client, and due to the fact that it's JavaScript. There was an incident about 1 or 2 months ago where the beacon chain lose finality, and only Lighthouse and Lodestar kept up due to our unique decisions on how to architect the client. So risk mitigation is key. And the fundamental, I think everyone here is aware of why client diversity is important in the beacon chain, but correlation penalties are a significant risk that everyone should be aware of. Still, we are doing great. We don't have Prism above 66% anymore, but still any client above 1/3 is a significant risk. So still spreading out the load on other clients is great. And specifically for everyone that runs a scale, just running as many implementations as possible is good. There are many setups that help you mitigate the risk. which I will not address here, that many of you may be aware of, like Vouch and others, and also protocols like DBT make big use of this. So unless there is consensus against multiple clients, then the validator client may refuse to process these messages. And so here, incorporating different clients with different approaches in the mix helps you be more resilient against bugs that can happen and have happened. So as I was saying, we are now at a point that we are really confident on Lodestar and it's production ready. We have been running a user incentive program for the last 6 months, where we put a pool of cash to everyone that could produce a blog with Lodestar, which we are now betting by running block print. We concluded the program this week and had 350 unique participants. That is individuals by depositor address that are not large stakeholder pools or associated with ChainSafe or Lodestar. So I would say this has been a huge success. We have many people coming through the Discord and getting help and saying Lodestar, so it was really, really nice to see. So yeah, I would encourage anyone this call to contact us. You can join the Discord, you can reach out to me personally on Telegram or to our PM on Twitter. As I said, we have a very, very supportive team, very supportive community. Any issues that you have, any feature requests that you may have is great. So if you are interested in either reducing your risk, diversifying your setup, or contributing to client diversity in general, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, thank you so much, Lido, for the opportunity. And that's all. Thank you.
Thanks, DappLion. I have a couple of questions, actually.
Sure.
So one of the first ones has to do with something that you mentioned in the beginning of the presentation, that initially Lodestar was kind of a light client-focused client implementation. What is the progress that you guys have like around light clients right now, and how do you see Lodestar's future as like a light client-focused implementation?
Yeah, so we actually have had a very interesting conversation around this topic with Nimbus. They actually hired a business development person just for this purpose, and they quickly pivoted into branding themselves as a light client to just we just run a really good client. In Lodestar, we structure this in parallel, so we have some people that are fully developed to the client, and at least at the moment, one person developing what we call a Lodestar prover. This is a middleware that could interface with the JSON RPC and provide you any data from the JSON RPC in a trustless way, where all data is verified. This has not that much adoption yet due to its performance characteristics, but we are pushing the technology. There are other groups like I think Paradigm is doing their own light client with very similar characteristics. So that's something that we are helping push into the future, but it's kind of parallel to Lodestar and the other public goods that we're doing.
Got it. Thank you. The next question that I had was actually around something that you mentioned, or sorry, it's actually something that somebody mentioned in the YouTube chat. So the newest release, well, not the one that's like almost being released right now, but the previous one from a couple of weeks ago,
1.10.
Yeah, V110 saw like tremendous performance improvements. So what kind of changes and how did you approach like identifying what things needed to be tweaked? Did you guys use in order to figure that out, and like what changes did you make?
Sure. So when you have a sync client, what takes the most resources by far is processing attestations. So what we have been optimizing is how you can process as little attestations as possible while still having positive impact to your network peers and fulfilling all your duties. So one of the key things that we have adopted is a different strategy for the attestation backbone. This is a proposal that H. Manning opened many months ago and was recently merged to the spec. So related to the development speed that I was talking about, we developed this really quickly and merged it in, and we're just basically benefiting from this new strategy. I would imagine other clients would roll this out in time, but combining this with a much more efficient strategy around aggregation, it massively reduces bandwidth and in turn CPU time.
Super interesting. Thank you. And last kind of question before we go into the next segment. Are there any kind of like future improvements that you guys have in mind, or like what is the next kind of big feature set or functionality that you guys are targeting? Does it have to do with like database rewrites, for example, that a lot of client teams are looking at, or how to work towards like vertical trees, or like what do you consider?
Yeah, so we have many things going on at the same time, like forks. I wanted to say like Denkun and vertical trees. For the main client, yeah, we are working on optimizing DB. As our main focus is not archive nodes, but just regular stickers. I think we have some ideas on how to significantly optimize disk storage to have minimal footprint. And the other thing is now Holesky, the network, is coming up. And that's going to be a huge challenge, I think, for all the clients, because it's gonna make us forced to run Lodestar at a network that is double the size of mainnet. So that will be a huge opportunity to run a lot of experiments, and from there derive optimizations that we can apply to the main client to reduce like resources and risk and resilience on many different fronts.
Awesome. Thanks a lot for those insights. And we'll keep working to try to get more and more Lido node operators to start using Lodestar. Actually, I remember one last thing that I wanted to ask. What is the interoperability between Lodestar and, like, let's say the leading distributed validator infrastructures like right now? So if somebody's interested in running distributed validator, how might they go about using Lodestar? Like, does it work well with SSV has their own validator client, but does it work well with Obol already, or is there still stuff that needs to be worked on?
Yes, it should be fully compatible. We have been working on that on the last months. We have been chatting with them, also Rocket Pool, and basically everyone else that integrates with CLs. So it's compatible. We are integrating many of those in our CI, so we can provide you programmatical assurance, but from testing it works. And yeah, and if it doesn't, please reach out. We will fix it very quickly and issue a bug release for you.
Awesome. That's great to hear. Thank you very much.